that we need to get to right now urgently, happening in Metro Nashville. Police responding to shots fired inside a mall. Victor Blackwell is in Atlanta, and he's been doing some incredible news gathering, working the phones for us. What do we know at this point?
So first, this is what we're getting from law enforcement sources telling us that Metro Nashville police are responding to a shooting at Opry Mills Mall. You're getting some video here in from affiliate WKRN as they try to cordon off and close down this area. Now, this is a very popular location. It is right across the street from the Grand Ole Opry, right there on the banks of the Cumberland River, and a tourist location. You see helicopters there in the sky. What we have not learned from the Metro Nashville police is if there are people who have been injured and if they are still searching for someone who might be armed there. We are monitoring social media. We've been told by the Metro Nashville Police Department to continue to watch their social media for updates on this. We also have been told that they are working to secure this location. But again, you're seeing some video live here from Nashville. The law enforcement source is telling us Metro Nashville police are responding to a shooting at Opry Mills Mall. Happened earlier this afternoon, a specific time. We're waiting for details from local police. But Michaela, as you can imagine, this is such a large facility that they're going to have to, if there is still a search for this person still available. And you see some of the people outside who have decided to leave the building. We're still waiting to figure out if there are people who are held up in some of those stores in this pretty large facility.
Right now we don't know, and maybe you can illuminate us a little bit more. Are they considering it an active shooter situation? Do they feel the shooter is no longer in the facility? Differentiate that for us.
So no confirmation yet if this is an active shooter situation or if they have someone in custody. But we do know that there is as you can see on your screen from our affiliate, a pretty large police response, as there would have to be in a facility of this size, especially going into the weekend at a place that is so popular with tourists coming to Nashville.
Well, yeah, and you know, you think about how many people go through a place like that any given day, especially on a weekend, especially on a Friday night. All right, so Victor, you're going to keep working your sources and bring us more news as you can get it. I want to get a little bit of analysis here from CNN law enforcement analyst Art Roderick, and I know for a fact, little birdie told me, Art, you've actually been to this mall. Is it one of those big mega malls that's got a little bit of everything in it?
It is. It's a huge mall, and I believe the security at that mall is done by a company called Simon. And when I was with Homeland Security a few years ago, we actually did a couple active shooter scenarios with this particular security company. So they're very much on top of what to do in an active shooter scenario. So the mall is very large. I've been monitoring some of the local news traffic there, and they've reported possibly someone injured in Forever 21 store and the Old Navy store. But also hooked on to this particular mall facility is the Gaylord Convention Center. And it just so happens that tomorrow, a the crime convention is going on starting tomorrow. I was actually supposed to go to that convention, but was unable to attend. So people will be checking in today. So the place has got to be filled with people, especially on a Thursday afternoon.
Oh, especially, you know, you think about people coming into town for a convention, they often will tack on a day before to see the sites. I've actually been to that Gaylord Convention Center myself, now that I realize I'm sort of figuring out the area. You talk about the security firm. You've done some active shooting exercises with them. We know that those kinds of things are happening around schools. We know hospitals do that kind of thing. Office buildings have now. Are malls doing active shooting training?
Yes, I mean, we've had, over the past few years, unfortunately, we've had to report on mall shootings at different locations, and the security at the malls are very, very much on top of this and actually started this training several years ago. And they've got very good response. They actually will do this training in conjunction with local law enforcement in the area with the SWAT teams and how to respond and doing lockdowns and working with the different stores in the particular mall. So they're very much on top of this.
Speak to me about the challenge of securing a mall or even trying to find a suspect in a mall. When you think about it, it's there's many points of entry and exit. If you've ever were a child and got lost in a mall or had a child that got lost in a mall, you know there are many places to hide, very many nooks and crannies, a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. Talk about those challenges, Art.
Yeah, it is difficult in a large facility like this. I don't know exactly what the square footage is, but having been in that location, it is a very, very large mall. And to secure a facility like that is very difficult. And you're right, there are plenty of entry and exit points, service entry and exit points, not only the regular public ones, but I think one of the advantages that these facilities have is they generally have very good surveillance camera video that they're able to go to immediately to try to figure out where exactly this individual is moving, what he's doing, did he already leave the facility, how did he come in, so they'll be backtracking immediately. Right now they're in a lockdown scenario and they're trying to clear, trying to make sure that it's safe and clear it. Now, we still haven't heard if anybody's in custody. We've heard kind of mixed reports, as we always do in the very beginning of these scenarios. But right now, they're trying to clear this facility and try to arrest this individual or individuals.
If I just want to pass on some information that we just got into our newsroom. We have received word from Nashville Fire that one person has been transported to local area hospital in critical condition. Or you've heard some reporting from some of your sources that said a couple of stores where you believe that somebody had been injured. We have confirmed that one person has been transported. That's the only information. I want to add, I just did a preliminary search online, and it looks, I mean, you're right, this place is huge. 200 stores and services, and it looks like over 1 million square feet, the size of that mall, and also the further challenge, the connection to the convention center. That's adding more area that has to be secured.
Right, exactly. And what they'll do is they'll go through and have to clear all these areas, and it's going to take quite a bit of time for security and for Nashville PD, Metro PD to go through there and clear this area out. So, I think we've seen on local news, too, they've blocked all the entries from the highway to this facility. So there's going to be major traffic jams on all the roads around there. But also, I'm sure they've got some helicopter air traffic up there to also monitor the situation.
I'm looking on the map here, and it looks like the Cumberland River weaves around that mall, and the 155 goes right alongside it. So you're right, that 155 is going to be, if not a gridlock, it's going to be, they're likely going to have emergency personnel accessing. Speaking of emergency personnel, let me update this information for our viewers. Art, Roderick, if you're just tuning in, Metro Nashville Police are responding to shots fired at the Opry Mills Mall, the Grand Ole Opry, which you know, infamously next door, very close. Also, the Gaylord Convention Center, very close. We know that one person has been transported to an area hospital in critical condition. In fact, I think we're getting some images from one of our affiliates in the area. That's Vanderbilt Medical Center. And we understand that's possibly where they are receiving injured. We don't know. Is it an active shooter situation? Are there still others to be rescued? Have they located the shooter or shooters? There's a lot that is developing at this point. One thing we do know in terms of resources, ATF and FBI are on their way, if not already on scene, adding to the manpower that is there. Art, stay with me. And in fact, I want to ask you when we come back from a break about that. When you have a massive operation like this, multi-agency, how do you keep it all flowing? We'll talk about that after we take a short break. We'll have more coverage of this here on HLN. We're watching a breaking story out of Nashville. We understand from a government source, a local source, tells us that 4 people have been shot at the Opry Mills Mall on the northeast side of Nashville. We understand 4 people have been shot. One's been transported. We understand 3 area schools are on lockdown. the FBI, the ATF are responding in addition to local law enforcement. Our Victor Blackwell has been gathering more news for us. Really a developing situation here.
It is certainly a developing situation, Michaela, and forgive me as I look down because in this era, of course, police departments and local agencies update the media through Twitter before they can by phone. And we just got this update from Metro Nashville Police. The disputed Opry Mills Mall results in gunfire. One person shot, suspected shooter in custody. No additional imminent threat known. Mall being swept by Metro Nashville Police Department officers as a precaution. Now, let me say, in this situation, in situations like this, rather, early on in breaking news situations, these numbers will fluctuate. We do have from that local government official that at least four people have been shot. Metro Nashville Police, they're reporting one person has been shot. That is typical in situations like this. But what they're saying here from the local police department, that there is no additional imminent threat known. Now, it will take a significant amount of time for Metro Nashville Police to properly sweep this mall to make sure that there is indeed no additional threat. This is a mall with a lot of stores, as you imagine, a movie theater. There's a Dave & Buster's there. It's right across the street from Grand Ole Opry, so this is a tourist area. They will take some time there to make sure that everything is safe inside that mall. But the latest numbers we have from that local government official, at least four people shot. From the police department there, one person shot. As you said, ATF and the FBI assisting there. We also got from the Nashville Fire Department, a patient is en route to Skyline Hospital. No other patients right now. So that's the latest we're getting in. Of course, as we get more from the mall, from local officials, and from first responders, we'll bring that to you, Michaela.
Okay, we appreciate it. Victor Blackwell, obviously staying on top of this situation. CNN law enforcement analyst Art Roderick joins me again, and I'm really glad to be able to talk to you in a situation like this. You know, Victor made a really good point. At this point, very little information is coming through because they're in a right now urgent situation. They have to figure out if there is any more danger to the people, to law enforcement, to perhaps even the gunmen themselves. That's their priority right now. Job one.
Absolutely. And generally in these circumstances, when you have a low casualty rate, you know, the first thing that law enforcement is going to look at, they're going to secure the area, they're going to go through, they're going to sweep the mall. But if the reporting is correct and they have the individual in custody and they're treating the individuals that have been hurt, then what you'll have is the FBI, ATF, and the Nashville Police Department working together to figure out exactly what the motive is behind the shooting. Was it a domestic scenario? Did the shooter actually know the victims? Or was this a typical active shooter scenario where there's no connection at all between the shooter and the victim? So they'll be sorting this out along with clearing this area. But these two things are going on at once right now.
Yeah, actually, we just got an update crossing the wires here. Nashville police are saying that this shooting actually was a dispute that led to a shooting at the mall. Some sort of disagreement or dispute between people led to gunfire. One person shot, and the big news here, suspected gunman is in custody. I think there's going to be a lot of people breathing a sigh of relief. You know, there's some frayed nerves, Art, in that mall. And obviously with the convention happening tomorrow, people are going to be a little uneasy, but at least they can say there is no danger any longer. All right, our thanks to CNN law enforcement analyst Art Roderick and, of course, Victor Blackwell. We're going to carry on because there's a lot of, I mean, goodness, there's a lot of news happening right now.